But we saw Colson Yankoff over there with the running backs. Is that just cross training, or is that?
He's cross training at the real versatile kid. Obviously, coming off a foot injury, was a great special teams player for us during the COVID season. Had played receiver. Has the ability to do some things coming out of the backfield. We're using him in a couple different spots. But he's still coming off of a foot, so he's not 100%. In terms of everything in practice, there's just segment parts for him. So we'll see where that leads to.
So it's possible he could get carries at that position?
Yeah, we don't have any game plan, things like that. But he can play running back, he can play receiver, he can play tight end. So the more versatile you are when you're not a starter, the better off you are.
Okay. We see some orange jerseys going on today. What does that mean?
We're playing Bowling Green in a week.
Scout team.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
start next Saturday, September 3rd. We're going to open up.
Sure
Where is
We're going to
that?
play a football game. It's supposed to be at the Rose Bowl, from what I understand.
This is news.
11:15.
Tweet that out.
So this is introduction to the Bowling Green game plan. So
Okay.
today and tomorrow, and then Sunday's an off day for those guys, and then we'll really start our game week. But because of camp, you really have 2 extra days to complement it. We'll still do some ones versus ones work today, but we'll spend at least one period just introducing Bowling Green's offense and defense to our respective groups, and the same thing in special teams.
So when you scouted Bowling Green, what did you see, and what are you expecting next Saturday?
Interesting team. They beat Minnesota early in the year last year, and Minnesota, I think, was a 9-win team that won their bowl game. So we played really, really well against them. We're up and down in the MAC during the season, finished off with a big win over Ohio. They seem like they're a pass-first offense. Their quarterback is a really good, he can do some things. He can create and make plays on the run. They've got a bunch of tight ends. They're going to be multi-in formations. Defensively, they're a 3-4 team that was really, really good. I think they led the conference in rush defense last year. They returned 9 starters on the defensive side of the ball. So, a good, really well-coached team. I've known Scott for a while. I think he does a really good job with those guys. They play hard when you watch them on tape. So, we're very aware. I think especially when you watch what they did to Minnesota at Minnesota last year. They were really physical in that football game. So it's a good football team.
Does that help get the attention of your guys, saying, hey, they beat Minnesota on the road last year?
I think so. When you look at what Minnesota's done and what PJ's done there, I think Minnesota was a 9-win team last year and won a bowl game. So I think that in its own right will tell you that every week you got to be prepared for whoever you're playing. So I think that will catch your attention. So that's one of the games we've used in our breakdowns on both sides of the ball.
You've said in the past, getting pressure from a 4-man rush is really key. It seems like you went into the transfer portal looking to try to improve that. Mm-hmm. Now that you've seen some of the transfer edge guys in spring and now, how do you think you did in that transfer portal?
I think there's some impact kids that we hope, in the Murphys and Latu, kind of on the edges. I think Jacob Sykes inside has really added another dimension for us also. So it's critical. You just can't be in zero coverage to create pressure on the quarterback. I think sometimes when you're in zero coverage, as the old coaching adage is when you're in zero coverage, the band plays. Is it our band or their band? So if they do a good job of picking up that pressure, then the quarterback he's got to decipher one-on-one coverage. So we feel like we've got to be able to generate a pass rush with our front and be able to play coverage in behind it. So so far what we've gotten out of all those guys has been really, really impressed with them. So they're excited to get an opportunity to go play somebody else. That's what we'll get a chance to see what they really look like next Saturday.
How many live periods have you done in August?
Every period we do is live except for tackle to the ground. So
tackle.
Every single one of our one-on-one pass rush, our one-on-one pods, anything we do at the line of scrimmage is 100% live.
Team periods live.
Team periods live in terms of tackling to the ground?
Yeah.
Zero.
Latu, you didn't know kind of what you would get just based on his kind of medical background. How happy have you been with the fact that he's been full go and contributing the way he has?
Yeah, very happy. We obviously any medical decisions are made by Dr. McAllister and the medical team. And they felt very confident when they saw him before he ever came here that he would be cleared. I think they were very cautious during the spring, which rightly so. But he hasn't missed a beat during preseason camp. He got cleared, I think, beginning of June. He's been full go in every activity. So excited to see him. Really loved him coming out of high school. And then obviously Akaika knew him when he was at Washington, so had a really good understanding and knowledge of him. He's a world-class rugby player, has been playing rugby straight through. So really excited to see what he can do, when we get to a real game live situation.
Titus said that you weren't, when you talked to him in the transfer portal, you said, I'm not going to lose you the second time. Is that kind of your standard line with guys that you're recruiting, that you were recruited previously in high school?
No, there's not a standard. I mean, I had a great relationship with Titus coming out, and really hit it off with him. And he wanted to go to Central Florida to play with Dylan Gabriel. They were friends from Hawaii, both went to Central Florida together. But we were really high on him. Just because he chose another school didn't mean we still weren't high on him. Thought he was really productive in what he did in his freshman year at Central Florida. So we were excited to get a second opportunity. He's just a great young man. He's an unbelievable worker. He's just a great kid to be around. He's got a smile on his face. He's one of those kids that's got an infectious personality. You just enjoy him, and I enjoyed recruiting him the first time, and enjoyed recruiting him the second time. We were fortunate the second time that we got him. So.
Devin Kirkwood likes to say he loves to talk trash out there. How much do you encourage guys doing that and having fun and being themselves out there doing that?
Encourage, we don't encourage it at all, but I want our kids to have fun. I think that the key to all of it is that you have to learn how to play with emotion. Don't let emotion play with you. We've always believed that competitors respond to situations and non-competitors react. So, if you're totally in control and you understand what you're doing and you have something to say, then that's fine. But I think it's the ones that get you in trouble when it's an emotional decision and it's a reaction to something that happened. And those are usually the ones that get penalties and things like that. And we don't want to do anything to hurt the football team. But we want our players to play with emotion. We want them to have fun. We want them to enjoy it. That's the fun part of playing football. But we don't want them to understand, to let emotion play with them or they fly off the handle. So, I think there's a fine line there.
What are your thoughts on how Garrett's looked so far through fall camp and what his odds are to be a big contributor this year?
Garrett's done a really nice job. He's actually played football for us last year, and he's done a really, really nice job. I think he's gotten a lot stronger and a lot more. I think I'm not trying to say that he wasn't athletic, but I think he's a lot more flexible. He's really worked really hard on bend and balance as he continues to grow in his body. He's a big human being to begin with, but he's done a really, really nice job through the spring and then through preseason camp. So he's another guy that hasn't played a ton of football, but we're excited to get him out on the field and when he gets his opportunity next week.
I think the big question on this team is how much better is the defense this year? Having seen these guys camps wrapping up now, what's your answer to that question?
The only answer to that question is when we play games on Saturday. So it really doesn't matter whether I say we're 1,000% better than we were a year ago. If I say we're not better than we were a year ago, you got to play the game. That's the great thing about. Hopefully, in 7 days, the talking season's over. So it doesn't really matter what any coach said in preseason about their team, this, that, or the other thing is you get to line up and play a team next Saturday, and then that's what we'll find out. So.
All right, thanks, Coach.